Pope Francis recently caused controversy when he stated that both candidates, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, were against life. He said one turns away immigrants and the other assassinate children in the womb. He went on to say that we must choose the lesser of two evils. Shockingly, he declared that he was undecided on which candidate was more evil. Before we get started, let me just say at the outset that we are a religious organization, and so do not get into politics. The only time we weigh in is when something moral or immoral is in question, or some attack on Catholicism, or some confusion pertaining to the Catholic faith in general, like Joe Biden pretending to be a good Catholic. While we may come down hard on certain immoral decisions and legislations, we will never tell anyone who to vote for or not vote for. That is not the purpose of this. It has to do with right and wrong. Let's get back to the topic at hand. I think the Pope didn't want to answer the question, even though he already knows the answer. He knows abortion is a greater evil, calling it direct assassination, but also doesn't want to downplay immigration concerns. Given these two choices, it's 100% simple to tell which one is moral evil. The answer is abortion, one of the only sins in the Catholic faith that carries with it an automatic excommunication. Abortion is the outright and direct killing of an innocent human person. In short, it's murder. The other issue is immigration. It's a political topic and doesn't have a one-size-fits-all answer. It's a complex topic that differs depending on the country, the laws, and people, and the ability. Everyone agrees the problem needs to be dealt with, but there are many ways to address this problem to figure out the best way to approach it without hurting its own country or people. When we compare the two, we see that abortion is worse by a landslide. On the one hand, in regard to immigration, you are simply not helping people in need, not a good thing. The other is direct murder of an innocent person. If someone who really needs help comes to you and begs to sleep in your backyard for a couple of nights and you turn them away, that may or may not be bad, depending on the person, the situation, and the possible dangers involved, etc. But let's assume your decision was just a mean and selfish decision based on a hard heart and uncaring attitude. This is wrong, evil, but it's substantially different than someone coming to you begging for help and you killing them in cold blood right there. Does it take a rocket scientist to tell us which one is more evil? This is acknowledged in the fact that the Pope called abortion assassination. In the past, he has stated that abortion is a plague and a crime similar to what the mafia does. The Catholic Church has always seen abortion as the pinnacle of immoral and evil actions, hence the excommunication. It's like saying, well, I don't like what Hitler is doing to the Jews, but I also don't like how the other candidate is withholding money from social programs and causing many people to suffer. The Catechism of the Catholic Church, 2241, says, quote, "The more prosperous nations are obliged, to the extent they are able, to welcome the foreigner in search of the security and the means of livelihood, which he cannot find in his country of origin." Political authorities, for the sake of the common good for which they are responsible, may make the exercise of the right to immigrate subject to various juridical conditions, especially in regard to the immigrant's duties toward their country of adoption. Immigrants are obliged to respect with gratitude the material and spiritual heritage of the country that receives them, to obey its laws, and to assist in carrying civic burdens, unquote. I think every country is on board with legal immigration and proper laws to facilitate that in the best way possible to help as many people in need as possible. Not caring for immigrants is wrong. However, not helping all migrants is vastly different than the direct murder of innocent unborn children. This is why Catholics can't be pro-choice, and why the church says we cannot choose candidates who support abortion and other grave evils like euthanasia, much less for those who spread and grow the evils of this practice. Of the 5 top most grave evils on the list from the Catholic bishops, abortion is at the top, and immigration doesn't even make the list. So again, both are wrong, but one is infinitely worse according to the church and logic.